You niggas owe me. I had to look at so much porn in order to do research for this video. Join my Discord and my Patreon where I post extra content I don't post anywhere else. You can join my Patreon for free, but there will be stuff I have that's paywalled. If you want to keep tabs on me, I'll be on my second channel. I have around 4 or 5 videos planned to make, so if you want to see those, check out the channel and make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video around to as many artists as you can. If being a freak is up your alley, check out Shoestrang. I'll link his Twitter account in the description so you can check him out. I'll also link other posts from Dr. DJ and Sugar Riosa so you can spread the word and help them out as well. So what's today's story? Well, the short of it is, 2 porn artists were fighting on my timeline. The mere act of porn artists fighting was and still is funny, so I decided to look into it and find out what's what. I initially thought this would be a short throwaway topic on my second channel, however as I conducted research, I realized I had a lot more to say than I initially thought. With there be mentions of racism, doxing, deplatforming, art theft, and having 2 sides of the story, I just had to tell you about it. First, let's begin with introductions. Shoestrang is a not safe for work pixel animator with a fighting game background. I stumbled across a few clips of him playing Lee, and he told me that he currently plays Third Strike. He deleted Tekken 8 because TLDR, fighting game devs are greedy. I also found this tweet where BlackMorty said, "I'll watch you with Tekken." Yeah, fucking right. I'd love to see that happen, nigga. Sit down. It's not often I find artists having shared interests, so that's pretty cool. And the origin of his porn journey is fuck it, we ball. Anyway, enough glazing. Now on to BlackMorty. I have to admit I didn't know anything about BlackMorty aside from his animations. From what I can tell, he's a fairly new artist. I'm basing that on the content he's made animations for like Adventure Time, Rick and Morty, or Steve Universe, and the amount of content he's produced. I'd see him every so often already knowing I'm in for some dog shit just by the title alone. After sitting down and watching a few of his videos for research, I'd hear characters like Lois, Princess Bubblegum, and Mandy say some pretty wild stuff.
So for starters, we must understand that are natural apex predators that are much bigger and stronger than typical white boys. The story behind their extinction still remains a mystery, but recent evidence shows that they might still be out there and living in secret. Many scientists speculate that the declining population of plummeted due to a high volume of abductions among their civilization. You see, contain a natural purifying serum in their bodies called black. This serum is said to give anyone who drinks it eternal youth and overwhelming power to conquer nations and blah 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 blah.
You're lucky you have some good-ass dick. For at least. Now get yourself cleaned up and go get me my fucking money.
I have no words. Like, what do you even want me to say about that, bro? Okay, real quick, I'm about to rant. This specific topic will not come up again, so I think now's as good a time as any to mention it. Black is so fucking corny and it ruins any art it's in. You know how Avatar has different types of subbending? Black is essentially the subbending of cuckolding, but instead of being with any dude, it's strictly with black guys. You've either seen this image or the infamous black spade tattoo or something similar. The existence of black only serves to humiliate white people and black men. By branding white people as property of black men, while also classifying black men as bulls, bucks, and studs, whose one purpose is to produce pure black offspring so that we make snuff out white men entirely. It places black men on a pedestal, acting as if we're the one and true supreme race that's the new world order. Does that not sound familiar to anybody? The fetishization of black men is harmful because our image is synonymous with an impossible expectation we can't live up to. It also promotes being unfaithful alongside mistreatment of your partner by labeling white men as the inferior male, where his job is to only pleasure his queen and nothing else, and if he can't do it, your partner will find a Tyrone or Darius who certainly can. If your relationship has reached a point where you need or want someone else to pleasure your partner, then you need to work that out with your partner or do some serious counseling. There are so many men who genuinely believe they're worthless because they can't break quiet like Brutus can. If there's a message I can send to any guys out there who base themselves off an unrealistic depiction, your manhood isn't defined by factors you can't control or the ability to please a woman. Having a Hulk-sized dick isn't the key to fixing all your problems. Now, to be clear, my views on hating black has nothing to do with BlackMorty. I follow artists who include themes I'm not a fan of all the time. Shoestrang, Black Whiplash, and ZP92 are prime examples of that. At the end of the day, when it comes to kinks I find gross or extreme, although I don't see the appeal, I won't go out of my way to hound someone to stop drawing what they want when I have the option to not engage with it. Unless it's feet, sign me up. Before we go any further, I want to briefly discuss another name being mentioned during my research. Taste of Choklit. Choklit is another artist whose name I saw in BlackMorty's Discord server and someone Shu mentioned when we spoke. Choklit came under fire for drawing art of what I believe was a 16-year-old girl. Judging from the Shadman Jr. comparison I saw in the thread, I prepared myself for just that. However, from what I found, It really wasn't the deal. Let me explain. Choklit drew a random girl on TikTok, who at the time of her making the TikTok video he referenced was 16. She wasn't 16 when he drew the picture, she was 16 in the specific TikTok he referenced. This is further supported when she discovered the image and briefly mentioned it on her Instagram story. Hey guys, I just woke up to someone on Twitter making pornographic drawings of 16-year-old me. Can we please report Choklit on X? Thank you. This is definitely a tricky situation to move around. I don't think he had the full intention of drawing a real 16-year-old, nor do I think Choklit initially knew her age since he drew her on a whim. Because again, by the time he drew this, she was already 19. However, as you'll see in a bit, you'll see how age probably wouldn't have stopped him. In a thread by Ultraarc, it's revealed Choklit had an old account where he drew ToddlerCon. Nothing I haven't seen before due to my experience researching the pedal bait community a year ago, so it doesn't faze me. So instead of me being disgusted, how about we take a look? We have prestigious pieces such as Makima rocking around with a stroller with a hung baby in it, Hag Minka, hyper-preg with huge tits and 3 hung babies bulging against her womb, Makima and a lucky little baby showing his strength off, a part 2 of the last one. Mayor Cream is servicing the Super Shoda Bros and must keep it behind closed doors. She doesn't want her voters knowing she has favorites. On second thought, cancel all my meetings for today. I have some unresolved business with the youth department. I'm not sorry. That shit was too funny. There's no way I wasn't about to laugh at that shit, bro. Come on now. Come on now. From my own knowledge, I believe it's common for those in other countries to draw this, namely Brazil, since it's either legal or there's no legislation regarding its legality. I don't like going to Wikipedia articles for stuff like this since I'd rather find a more official source when it comes to subjects like this, but this was the only decent source on the laws of CP in Chile, so this is what I have to go off of. Unless they get in some serious trouble, nothing's gonna stop them. The best you can do is block and report to the creator if you come across it. These themes are usually in its own subsection of online spaces, so unless you're actively looking for it, you shouldn't be able to see it. I saw some blurbs in Morty's server saying she's 20 now, which is probably true, but it's likely she hadn't changed her bio on TikTok still. I wanted to mention that since I'm certain Morty or his fans would use it as a defense, as if he didn't just give a then 16-year-old a pair of quad CD DJs and call it a day. I'm willing to give Choklit the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent, but Morty knew what he was doing when he drew this. Slapping huge tits on a then 16-year-old is definitely weird and you shouldn't do that, but I don't think this is worthy of the Shadman Jr. comparison. I was around when Shadman was active and understood that Shadman drew for shock value. While Choklit's case could be seen as an honest mistake, but let's be honest, it definitely wasn't. It shouldn't stop him from catching heat for it. I'm not about to hound somebody over something I don't like. Like, who cares if people draw showy content? You know the real problem? Stealing designs or concepts from other artists and selling it off as his own. Forcing women to ERP with him, alleged sexual assault, and allegedly dating a minor. I could honestly care less about what he's drawn when there's more important issues to tackle. If you're feeling adventurous, I've linked both threads in the description for you to read, but be warned since the content in these threads might make some readers understandably uncomfortable. I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm not excusing either of them. I just really get autistic about details. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Moving on. Okay, both situations are very fucked up. We can all agree that you shouldn't draw real children in not safe for work settings. And if you plan on drawing real people in not safe for work settings, it's best to do an age check beforehand. Also, you don't need permission to draw real people in any setting. Shadman is also an example of that. It didn't matter who you were, from Lieutenant Corbis to Keemstar. If you were public in any capacity, you were getting drawn. I don't care if people draw showy content, since I prefer to focus on real children being put in not safe for work settings rather than say Jasmine, Gwen, or Mandy. In the long run, you're fighting with people who will do what they want regardless of backlash, and spamming the age of consent meme can only do so much. Instead of going through endless cycles of witch hunts and complaining, I believe it'd be more productive to have a conversation with these creators to see their point of view and figure out why they make this content in the first place, while also shifting focus to those harming real children. I don't plan on changing mine since again, people are going to do what they want. Just don't be surprised when you called out for being weird. Now let's wind the clock back to October 2024, which was around the time I saw this unfold. I'm already familiar with this, but Shoestrang alongside his own animations does sound work for other creators like Aromatic Hyena, D-Art, and Dr. DJ, another artist who's having a rough patch with his home at the time of writing. Edits are the bread and butter of art and animation. However, when it comes to 18+ content, you'll come across sound work or voice acting in most projects. Doing editing work is perfectly fine and you don't really need permission to do so. However, you should credit the artist, something BlackMorty claimed to do but didn't show proof for. If you couldn't tell from the bits I played in the intro, BlackMorty uses AI voices in his videos. Creators such as Egan Tilgman and XChrisX Gamer either have or currently use AI voices in their projects respectively. Using AI voices isn't an issue on its own, but if you have the amount of money you brag about making, just pay voice actors, man. You don't have to look far and there's pre-made voice packs available to use. Anyway, here's what happened. Shoestrang Shoestrang was under the impression BlackMorty paid a guy called Mr. Yapper to do AI dubs of his videos. Once they were finished, Yapper sent them over to BlackMorty to put on his Patreon, premium Discord server, or wherever he chose to upload it behind the paywall. Shoe was understandably upset and lashes out at BlackMorty. A highlight of a conversation for me is when they were discussing whether BlackMorty should delete the videos or not.
I don't give a fuck if you delete them. They've been up for a year. Eat shit.
To summarize the chats between Shoe and Morty, Shoe was pissed that Morty dubbed over his videos with AI and uploaded them behind the paywall without his permission, while Morty tried to downplay everything and acted like it wasn't a big deal. These messages are funny as fuck, bro. You wanna be me so bad, you steal my content, little 5K follower, bitch. Keep tracing. Takes you 3 months to draw ass shaking. Mentally deficient. Been months and you still talk about me to your dick sucking Discord bitches. I make a full animation with story and sound in 3 days. You are dog shit. Yeah, you yeah, you used the trace option, the bitch option, the talentless option. Your mom should have used the abortion option. Bro, he was so fucking bad. I don't. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's a little fucked up, but that's still funny. God damn, bro. Are you so pressed that he called you a Discord bitch?
I'm curious to know what Noid looks like IRL. I'm willing to bet anything I could beat his ass.
Oh my god. Dog, I have a black belt in judo. I throw that nigga around like Broly. You're a bunch of fucking losers, my god. Jokes aside, let's jump to my DMs of BlackMorty and see his perspective. Morty said he never paid anyone to dub the videos. The random guy in question, who I'm assuming is Mr. Yapper, came to him wanting to learn how to make AI videos. After showing him how to do it, Yapper makes the dub Shoestrang videos, then suddenly doesn't feel like making them anymore and tells Morty he can post them if he wants. I don't take issue with the AI voices added to Shoe's work or re-uploading them, since again, people are going to make edits without permission. My problem is when he's confronted about making a profit off someone else's work, he's like, oh geez, Shoestrang. Wait, hang on.
Oh, geez, Shoestrang. Just calm down. I'm sure we can work something out. It's not that serious.
When in Shoe's eyes, he sees someone profiting from his work. It's not about whether you made money off it or not, and no one cares that someone essentially did the same thing to you when you asked to work with them. Not only is that irrelevant, that's also not the point. I shouldn't have had to explain this to you, but not everyone is going to be cool when they see their work with someone else's name on it behind a paywall that isn't their own. The least you could do is get permission to do that.
But he didn't.
Any artist looking at this will call you an art thief. Want to know why? Because I asked multiple artists this exact question. Let's say you make something, then I just had to take what you've made, throw my own watermark on it, then paywall it. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like plagiarism. Sounds like theft. That's just straight art theft. Doesn't even sound transformative if it's just a watermark. And then on top of that, you put a paywall on? Yeah, pretty scummy stuff. Yeah, definitely sounds like straight up theft. Even Wolfgang, who left me on Reddit when I asked him this and was way more concerned about a non-existent cancel movement rather than the $10,000 debt they're currently in, I'm assuming has the common sense to realize this is art theft. Actually, never mind. Not being okay with having your work stolen is a weak response to art theft. My bad. How about we play a game, BlackMorty? Gun to your head, form an argument that makes sense. Somehow, being called an art thief was something he couldn't fathom. Me? An art thief? What an off-base thing to say about me. Shoestrang being racist though? Perfectly reasonable conclusion. I tried to make sure we were on the same page here because I hoped he had some sort of plausible defense. So I asked him this. You understand when people see this, they're going to call you an art thief, right? So what was BlackMorty's response when I asked him that question? That's like saying a not safe for work sound effects maker who puts new sound edits behind his Patreon is an art thief. Let me break this down to you in case you missed that. Morty believes if a sound effects maker puts new sounds behind the paywall, that means they're an art thief. If the sound maker in question is uploading their own sound effects, they're not stealing. But if they're uploading sounds that aren't their own, that's what makes them a thief. That wasn't something I came up with either. It's from one of the artists I spoke to, Quasimodox, who has almost no knowledge of the situation at hand. If artists are easily taking apart your argument in seconds, it was shit in the first place. But don't worry, it gets worse. How about we touch the racism claim, even though it's one of the minor topics I wanted to speak on? Morty claimed Shoestrang was probably racist. saying it's a rough hypothesis because Shu was tweaking so hard. I told him his assumption was fucking stupid, and this was his response.
So a white guy losing his marbles starting at way what turn over a black guy making interesting edits to his videos doesn't seem racially charged to you in the slightest at all? Yeah, right. He may not be a racist for all I know, but it's not an off-base assumption. And keep in mind I said probably.
BlackMorty doesn't seem to understand your skin color is irrelevant when you're a faceless creator. There's Kyle, Zonton, Emizi, Seth Zintak, Blarf. Shadman was faceless for the longest time until his face was doxed. How about voice actors? Voice actors can be disembodied voices until you look them up. I never knew what Kira Buckland looked like when I was watching Broad Taunt's VG Exiles or when she did the Jerry Han song when I was a kid. I have been listening to Liam O'Brien for over a decade, and I still, to this day, have no idea what he looks like. Don't even get me started on faceless YouTube channels because a lot of people start off that way, me included. But let's get back on topic. I wanted him to answer this simple question. In a world where anyone can say nigga, where anyone can put black in front of their names and be any race, how is Shoestrang or anyone supposed to know you're black when you're a faceless creator online?
My name is BlackMorty and I make BBC superiority videos online with race play and ghetto terminology. You'd have to be an idiot to think I was any other race than black. Like I know damn well you know what race I am without even asking me.
Let me get this straight. The nigga with the series called The Ghettoverse that features BBC cuck race play power fantasies is claiming someone else is racist based off his own intuition. Morty, I want to apologize for how it came out because I finally understand it now. You're fucking retarded. I would have assumed you knew the definition of irony, but that's clearly lost on you. If people were fully convinced Tina Fey was some 19-year-old Hispanic girl or whatever they thought he was, who's to say I'm not a 19-year-old Hispanic girl? People roleplay, use personas and aliases to keep themselves from revealing their identities. VTubers literally exist, and the rebuttal to your brain-dead logic was, I'm black because I make race play fantasies and use ghetto terminology. This is the point in the conversation where I got sidetracked by dumb shit. Anyone can do what he's doing and not be black. Guess what he says? No, really. Guess. What is the likelihood of some white guy repping this persona? Anyone that has basic context clue skills can deduce a motherfucker like me is black. Drop the bias for 3 seconds. Common sense is assuming that a person called BlackMorty is black. Grant me the sweet release of death. I can't Fuck, no, please.
Please, come on. Come on, just one more, please.
If you couldn't tell by looking at the messages, this is where I gave up because I wasn't about to entertain his bullshit. I'm willing to bet money a majority of people into blacks aren't black. Not all, just a majority. And if you look at any adult videos, a decent amount of people featured in those videos are white. I'm also willing to bet anybody watching this video right now either knows somebody or is somebody who uses ghetto terminology that isn't black.
Yo, what's up, B? How you feeling? What's going on? Yo, let's bounce, son.
Like, nigga, you don't know what Ebonics is? Come on now. Jesus Christ. Hey, Morty, pro tip. Black people don't desperately try to convince other people on the internet that they're black. As a matter of fact, comment down below if you know someone who uses Ebonics or if you use it yourself. I'm not trying to force you to identify yourself either because I could care less what you look like behind the screen. The point of this conversation was to uncover the origin of an accusation you made. You're the one accusing Shoestrang of being racist. I'm trying to figure out why out of the two of you, the person making race play porn is claiming someone else is probably racist. Laughing at Shoestrang when he mentioned the racism told me you were talking out of your ass. So I'm going to move on to the scamming, doxing, and tracing claims. To quickly address the doxing claim, very early in our chat he says, quote, Shoestrang got some serious issues and will go so as far as to try and dox me over this stupid beef. I have more than enough proof to show that he tried to take down my platforms. To no surprise, he showed zero proof of doxing. I told you what Morty said and he said the following. Literally never have I doxed or threatened to dox him or anyone. I lack the ability. Up until 3 years ago, I worked as a diesel mechanic. I didn't challenge him when we spoke, but I will challenge his statement here. Doxing isn't an ability you can manifest, since anybody has the potential to dox somebody. It's a matter of morals focusing on the should I rather than can I. The only thing I have on the deplatforming is the DM I have with Shu. He was talking all big until I contacted Stripe and Payroll. Then he blocked me and started backtracking. Me and a few others contacted Stripe and they are doing an investigation and will probably ID ban him. We just reported his server for CP and stolen content. They said they're looking into it, but this was a month ago. Next up are the tracing claims. Although you credit who you steal from, it doesn't make it any better, and marking them as parodies doesn't fix the issue either. Nutshell Animations recently got into controversy from not crediting the animators he works with and a bunch of other stuff. Go watch Beato's videos if you really care about it. I'm moving on. I would like to point out Morty admit that he does trace and that he did so when first starting out, which is fair. He claims to draw everything from scratch and some animations are still traced. I have to question why you bothered with tracing since you said you could draw pretty well before doing this full time. Then again, I also have to question the authenticity of your work since you've traced from other creators. Obviously, I can't show anything since everything is porn, however, I will try my best to point out some examples. In Adventure Thoughts Part 1, he traced over Cold Arsenal's version of Princess Bubblegum. I exposed to Cold Arsenal and he's aware of Morty doing this and he never gave his consent to use his art in the way Morty did. Babysitting Mandy features Doobie Pump's take on Mandy.
Listen here, you just because my stupid parents let you babysit me doesn't mean I'm gonna let you stick that black inside my fat booty.
If you watch Escaping the Ghettoverse Part 3 at 526, this loop of Lois was ripped from Biggie 00's animations with Sakura. Those are just examples several commas pointed out on Rule 34 and his video site respectively, but here's one I found myself. On the Public Whips channel in his server, there's an animation where he uses the AI voice of Miles Morales. When I watched, I didn't notice anything off. That is until I saw this character right here. Something in my brain told me these characters looked oddly familiar. I know I've seen these characters and the art style before, but I couldn't put my finger on it. The animation is titled BlackMorty x Wappa Commission. The characters in order of appearance are Wappa Wilson, his sister Wapai Wilson, followed by their mom Whoopi Fitzgerald, made by the artist Wappa, who I found out retired during my research. When everything clicked for me, I immediately thought of Dimitri from Sly 2. Early on, you realize you're a shit artist. So instead of honing your craft for the better, you unabashedly rip off other artists out of spite. You notice how he tried to pivot from the actual issue? Bro's just crashing out. I make more money than all of you niggas. He's probably racist. Shoestrang's mostly mad because I upgraded his videos and made them more enjoyable for everybody. Not because I stole his art and paywalled it without his consent. Upgraded his videos. Get over yourself, man. Holy shit. You can find countless edits of Shoestrang's work, and you can't say those edits aren't behind someone's Patreon. Yeah, no shit, Captain Obvious. The edits are either upscaled to 4K, or they're Spanish/Brazilian Portuguese subtitles that he paid people to help him with. And as I stated previously, he does sound work for other creators. You will never find anything he didn't draw from scratch behind a paywall. And I'm sorry, interesting edits?
Stop the cap.
Nigga, you googled a Nicole Watterson AI voice generator, downloaded one of his videos, put the generated audio under the video, slapped your Patreon link on it, exported it, and called it a day. I used to do this when I was 15 using Windows Movie Maker and Balaboka. Your edits aren't interesting in the slightest. It might have gotten more views than Shoe's original post, but who fucking cares? You added nothing of value to any of his animations besides an AI voice. If Shoe hired a voice actor to dub his Gumball animations, I'm sure he would have gotten similar results. And I know damn well you're not talking about anybody's voice acting being beyond trash.
It seems that the Negro humans have grown quite a peculiar attraction to... Fuck.
It seems that the Negro humans have grown quite a peculiar attraction towards my thick posterior.
What stellar voice acting from Para.ai voice generator. Amazing work. Now let's move to the scamming. I found 2 comments on Rule 34 video by the same guy alleging he was scammed by BlackMorty. From what I could gather, some of his content is password protected and you have to pay a fee to get in. And those who paid apparently haven't received the password to access his content. However, I didn't find evidence supporting that claim, so take it with a grain of salt. The final thing I'd like to mention is that at the time of writing this, a 17-year-old is currently in BlackMorty's server, which in my opinion is whatever, and I'm sure they'll be 18 sometime soon. Kids younger than 18 are going to stumble across adult content or join communities where it's fully accessible. But I'm sure we can all agree you shouldn't expose people under 18 to sexual content. When this very same issue was addressed by JT Dubs, how did Morty respond? I was watching porn in the first grade, bro. Grow up. What the fuck? The first grade? Oh, hell no! I don't even have memories of being in the first grade. I don't even know how old I was.
Hello?
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Xavier.
Weird question, but do you remember how old I was in the first grade?
6?
6?
Why? Yeah, why?
I just wanted to know. All right, bye. Nigga, I was 6. 6! I was playing Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Color when I was 6.
You're a victim.
After JT calls out the gross incompetence from Morty and the mods who throw the shaft, JT Dubs is then rewarded with a swift ban from the server. Actually, never mind. JT being worried about a minor in the server with porn was just him crashing out. You know, Morty, now that Shoestrang is living rent-free in your head, I want to have a piece of the pie too. Let me have my Nicholas Diorio moment and let all your fans know a random YouTuber got under your skin. Niggas were calling you a thief way before you encountered Shoestrang, so you can't blame me for an off-base assumption made about you. Also, if I were you, I'd start doing minor checks in a server filled with porn. Hey man, I ain't trying to judge you get your rocks off, as long as it ain't hurt nobody. I'm just saying you shouldn't expose anyone under 18 to things like zoophilia in case you want to keep your server intact. The other artists you trace from are probably unaware of someone actively profiting from their work, like Wappa for example, or they do know and there isn't much they can do aside from reporting you for stolen content. Consider yourself lucky Shoestrang was the only person to be vocal about his art being stolen. Imagine when it only takes one time for you to piss off someone big enough with the clout to bury you in the ground. It doesn't have to be an artist. It could be the art community as a whole, or someone bigger than me who calls you out on your bullshit. Booty Docs and D-Art could very much assume you're tracing their animations under the guise of studying, but I'll let them make that claim on their own since I don't have any evidence of that. I ain't trying to pocket watch, but you said you have more motion than Shoe, right? Apparently it's not enough to hire real voice actors. I doubt most VAs in this scene will work with someone who steals art and uses AI voices. It's got to be devastating knowing that the one person you held in such high regard, someone who inspired you, be more successful than you with 8-bit animations. Weren't you going ban for ban with him, but now you over here begging niggas to buy their accounts? Guys, I really need your help. It's getting harder for me to steal art, so I'm setting up a bounty for whoever can sell me their verified subscribe to our account for $300. Please! Ooh, I hate Shoestrang. Guess all that tracing ain't paying the bills, huh? I wouldn't be giving you this much shit if you didn't waste my time with your incessant coping, mental gymnastics, and if you simply own up to what you're doing and offered Shoestrang along with the many artists you stole from a sincere apology. But we know none of that shit finna happen. You stole from multiple artists and made money off their work. But the moment someone fights back, suddenly you're the victim. If Shoe was the serial doxing deplatformer you want him to be, the entire art community would have sent him to the shadow realm. An upcoming artist doxing and deplatforming people wouldn't simply fly under the radar. You can call me an obese shoe shit dick rider all you want. I saw you crashing out in real time when your stripe got nuked. Aw, what's wrong, Morty? Getting harder to make money off stuff that ain't yours? Tough shit. I went into this thinking Shoestrang hated you, because who could blame him? Your fans genuinely believe Shoestrang is a horrible person because you keep telling them a one-sided story. But I couldn't have been more wrong. He doesn't even care. Yeah, that threw me for a loop too. Here I thought the hate was mutual, but no, it's one-sided. Even if it wasn't, Shoestrang doesn't want you to be doxxed, nor did he have anybody mass report you. Now to be fair, there are people who want you doxxed. I'm not excusing it, but people like this will always want to take the extreme approach. If you were doxxed by Shoestrang or his fans at any point, I would have brought it up in this video and gave them shit for it. You know what's funny? One of your members came to have an honest discussion about this drama. Even though he shouldn't have done it because it's not his fight, he left satisfied from the knowledge he's gained. And that earned my respect a lot more than resorting to calling him a virgin over and over. Unfortunately for you, Shoe's got it like that. He could go bitch for bitch right now. Can't say the same about you. Usually I try to look at the positives by telling myself people can change. But I don't think you'll ever change, Morty. And I mean that. I wanted to hear your side of the story, but you were so focused on pulling away from the main issues, like trying to convince me Shoestrang's favorite pastime is TND, that you refused to have a real conversation with me. I would have mentioned the apology you gave to Shoestrang earlier in the video, but you doubled down when he called you out on Twitter. Then again, it's not the first time you doubled down either. A not so wise man once said, any kind of publicity, good or bad, can be beneficial to your business. If and when the not so wise man is watching my video, I know he's gonna say I was biased or I never got his side of the story. But there's one thing I remember he told me to do during our conversation. Cut the bullshit when you make your video.
Double cup is a purple or red. Zany bars, and if I end up dead, so what? So what? I can't trust you if I think you're a fan. The opioids go straight to my head, so what? So what?